Well, I hope we're on fire.
Fire.
This girl is on fire.
Turn up the heat.
Hot, hot, hot. So tonight I wanted to take a few minutes because we're only in day 2 of a 6-week challenge, or I'm sorry, a 9-week challenge. What am I thinking? And every week we go on a captain's call before the Juba Fit Commit call. And Ron Burgess is our newest honorary coach. And I love Ron. Ron had a heart attack 3 years ago, held the anion emitter pen to his heart, drove himself to the emergency room during the heart attack. Apparently, the anion emitter pen saved his heart. And he has been very, very focused on reducing sugars. He did a deep dive into health and wellness because doctors sometimes just are not as helpful as we'd like them to be in guiding us towards better health and wellness, right? I think we've all experienced different frustration points with that. When I asked my doctor what he would suggest, his suggestion was eat a low-fat diet, and I can tell you I gained about 15 pounds eating a low-fat diet. So that wasn't an answer, at least for me. So he likes to give good nuggets. And so I'm literally going to take his suggestions, and that's what our call is going to be based upon. So was everybody able to watch the Juba Fit Commit call last night on hydration? Every time I watch these commit calls on education, like hydration, hormones, all of those sorts of things, I always learn something new. And what I didn't realize is the more water you drink, the more the blood can flow through your veins, which I thought was really powerful. And Ron talked a little bit on the coach's call last night about that, which I thought was wonderful. So Michelle, sweetheart, it was almost 90 degrees here today. And I'm not a happy girl. But when it gets that hot, we really need to hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. And also, Megan talked last night about how when you sleep, you get dehydrated. So, because you're not hydrating while you're sleeping, right? You're supposed to be sleeping. So, and I know Lori Herman was always really, really good at this. And I kind of took her advice a few challenges ago, but I drink 8 ounces of water before my feet hit the floor. So when I wake up and the alarm goes off, I try to drink 8 ounces of water because then I know I've got 8 ounces in. And then what I've been doing is I've been filling up my glass that I keep by my bedside. And I drink 8 ounces while I'm getting dressed because that's easy enough. Brush your teeth, rinse your mouth, drink some water, right? So now I'm getting 16 ounces in before I even hit the kitchen, the coffee, feeding the dog, and all the things that we do. So we're going to talk about 3 things tonight. The first thing I want you guys to tell me is what are you focused on for your own personal accountability this week? Michelle, I'll let you start.
Well, I fell off the tracking wagon, so I'm trying to get back into tracking, but also hydration. It's just been cold here, and it's hard for me to get motivated to drink and drink and drink and drink, but I have those 2 things are
So
not
that's your
benefiting.
accountability for this week.
Yep, tracking and
Okay.
more water.
And what's your biggest blunder and your biggest win this week? Start with the blunder and start with the win.
Sorry,
Unmute yourself, please.
the win has been that I'm getting back on track. The blunder was I felt like shit for 2. Sorry, we're recorded. I felt really crappy for 2 days because I had a big weekend, parties, and I fell off this past weekend and I felt crappy. And getting back, I felt crappy, but today has been like no brain fog, better energy, no
So
sugar.
your biggest win is getting
Oh.
yourself back on track.
Yeah, with my eating, with food,
And how are you tracking your eating?
with Carb Manager.
The Carb Manager app?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. Cheryl, what are you focused on as far as your own personal accountability this week?
Just getting more steps in. I
You're doing
haven't,
great.
done that much, and so it's time to up the steps.
That's awesome. And what was your biggest blender and your biggest win so far?
I'm really trying to concentrate on not eating out, but we had family in town this weekend, and so we ate out, and then a couple of nights this week it's been, oh, let's go grab something. So that's not been the best options for me. When, man, I don't know. Actually, I've stayed away from the vending machine at work, so no chips, no candy, and no soda this week.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I will tell you that when I gave up soda about 10 years ago, I lost 15 pounds doing nothing different other than giving up soda.
Wow.
It really holds inflammation in your body, so that's a big win. But I think your other big win is all the steps that you've done this week.
Oh,
Two-
yes, yes.
2,000 steps is like a half a mile.
Well, the first day of the challenge, I got almost 3,000.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I kind of overdid it. I was doing squats and doing the extra walking, and I could really tell it after
Well,
that.
but as you do a little bit more and a little bit more each and every day, what you'll find is that the pain will subside because it's as if your body, I sat on the couch for 9 months and then I started walking and my body's like, whoa, 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 we're not used to that. But then as you keep doing a little more and a little more, your body adapts, right? And so, so that's great. So accountability wise, and blender wise, I have not tracked a single thing I've eaten so far. I was thinking today I need to get that Carb Manager app out, although I seem to be doing well, but I discovered some Christmas goodies in my freezer. I thought they were zucchini muffins. And they're keto friendly, but probably not keto friendly for as much as I'm eating. Bill and I keep looking at each other going, OMG, they are caramel chocolate coconut bars and they're delicious. And I was actually looking for the recipe because I have company coming in town and I thought I would make it for them, but it's probably God's grace that I can't find the recipe. So anyway, so that's my accountability. I'm going to track on the Carb Manager, even if I sin, because I think it's really important that I watch what I'm eating, especially since I'm in the challenge. My biggest win is we have gone from beautiful 60, 70 degrees to almost 90 degrees. And my biggest win is getting up early and walking, even if I can only stand to be outside 15 or 20 minutes. I've been finishing my 30-minute walk inside the house. So that's my biggest win. So let's start out by making an accountability promise. So my accountability promise is going to be walking or getting some form of exercise in, and also tracking my food better. My dog is staggering towards me right now. Walking and tracking my food. That's my raising my right hand, holding myself accountable. Michelle?
I would say getting some movement in because I'm going to be traveling. Girl Scout honor. I'm going to get lots of movement in. I know I'll be getting hydration because I'm going to go from this 45 to like 90-degree weather. It's going to be gross. So yeah, movement. I'll try to track next week. We'll see how busy it gets, but I can do it. Yeah.
So that's your promise for next week. What's your promise for this week?
Well, I mean,
Are,
this
are
week
you
is-
traveling this weekend?
I'm traveling Monday.
Oh, okay. All right. My apologies. I thought it was the next week.
So
Cheryl, what's your Scout's honor?
Mine is gonna be, can't see my hand. To keep my food journal. That's something I've always struggled with, but I need to keep a food journal.
We all do. And even if you write it, and don't track it on the carb manager, when I track it on the carb manager, then I can see how many calories I've eaten and all of that kind of stuff. And I haven't gained any weight, so I'm doing okay. And thankfully, there weren't that many Christmas leftovers. Thank God. But it happens. What can I say? So, and then I would also challenge you guys to look at yourself in the mirror every morning and say, I am worthy of a great day and good choices for myself, because there's something about verbalizing it that gets imprinted into your brain. And then if something does come your way, you're like, ooh, maybe not. So I know this weekend we're going to have some meals out because we've got some company coming into town. And I know that I'll probably have a dessert or whatever, but then maybe I could give up carbs earlier in the day so that I can account for that. So, and if I go over, I go over. It's not like I have to do the whole thing. So one of the places that we love to go to, I love their key lime pie. And so I will get it in a to-go box and I will make it last the slice. I will make it last 3 days. So if you're taking just a bite or two over the course of 3 days, now you get to enjoy it longer and you don't have all the carbs all at once. So that's kind of how I play with myself, because I don't think anybody should ever deprive themselves of something occasionally that gives them a lot of joy. But I also don't think that you have to eat the whole thing. So, and that's something that I've really worked with myself on. It's like, okay, I'll take a little Girl Scout bite and enjoy it and then just put it away. So, and then I enjoy it longer instead of, walking out of a restaurant stuffed and wondering why I did that and then not sleeping. And then, like you said, Michelle, feeling like caca for 2 days, and it's just not fun. So
It was bad. Oh, I felt bad. I was like, why do I feel so bad? Oh, because, I'm getting back. It takes me about my body like 48 hours to go from the, you know, happy retirement cake to
it takes me
cauliflower.
probably 2 to 3 days to purge a bad meal right now.
Yeah.
So I really do pause, assess, and reflect and make a decision before I go crazy. And it's like, okay, I can enjoy this, but I can always take leftovers home. I can always freeze it. I can always go back to it. So I've gotten really good about that. We're probably going to go to my favorite hot dog place this weekend, and I have my Keto Lewis Hawaiian hot dog bun. And I probably will embarrassingly put a hot dog bun in my purse, order it without the bread, and do my keto bun so that I can eat and enjoy what I love. And then I will order the kids' French fries, because this is one of the few places I can eat French fries at because I'm allergic to mushrooms. And I will make myself stop when the French fries are half gone. I'll wad it up and I'll make it look nasty and it won't look attractive to me anymore. So, that's the way I can account for the carbs. If I have it in the middle of the day, then I have the rest of the day to burn it off. And then at dinner that night, I'll be more healthy. So I'm kind of planning this out in my head, because you have to. If I go over the carb limit, I go over the carb limit. It's not the end of the world, but what I found is on days where I track my sinfulness and I've maybe have gone over the carbs, maybe 2 or 3 carbs, not like 20 or 30, just a little bit. And then I'm okay. I don't feel so crappy, as you said, Michelle. and then I can do that. So I don't encourage people to do that, but sometimes, like you said, Cheryl, family came into town. Family's coming into town for us this weekend. Michelle's traveling this weekend, so she doesn't have access to maybe the best option. Final thought. One of the things Ron talked about, and I talk about this on every challenge, is reading labels. He plays a game with his team called Guess the Carbs.
Oh,
And I remember when I first started this challenge 3 years ago, we were eating pasta sauce. How bad is pasta sauce? It's tomatoes, it's olive oil. Some pasta sauces have sugar in it. How bad can it be? You'd be amazed when you start turning over those jars and reading them. A lot of them have a lot of carb and a lot of sugar and not much fiber. Some of them have an okay amount of carb with some fiber and lower sugar. So it's really important that you read. And it's also important that you don't just look at the card, but look at the serving side. Because I was reading, this has 8 carbs, 1 gram of fiber, which is 7 net carbs per serving. But that jar was 1/4 of a cup. I looked at another jar and per serving was 1 cup, 6 carbs, 1 gram of fiber. Now think about this. Do you
wow.
really eat a cup of pasta sauce on your pasta? Not usually. It's probably about a half a cup. So now that's only like 3 net carb instead of 12. So it's a big deal to read. Bill and I are always, whenever we're in the store together, we're reading. Oh, look, but make sure you look at the serving size too, because size matters, right?
Oh, sure does, mama.
So anyways, anybody have any questions?
Well, I would add to that, Melissa, not only that, but just looking at the ingredients, like how many inflammatory oils, like soybean oil or, right? Like the cleaner ingredients, I can eat a little bit of that, even if it has some carbs, right? It seems to process in my body better. So at least
Well,
if I'm
especially if you're eating cold pressed olive oil, like a very high grade olive oil. I actually subscribe, and my olive oils are $33 a bottle, which sounds outrageous. But man, oh man, if I get too much carb overload or anything, and I put a little bit of that olive oil on whatever I'm eating, I just process it better. It's just better. So if you're going to have an oil, do a cold pressed, because whenever you cold press anything, just like our ginger and our turmeric is cold processed, when it's cold processed, it holds more of the nutrients and the phytonutrients and all of the things that are beneficial to your health. So that's why French fries are not a good thing, because that's peanut oil. Most of the nut oils or the seed oils are not really that great for you. The Like you said, soy is very high in estrogen. And if your hormones are not balanced, which most of us when we age, they're out of wacko, because that's a natural part of the aging process, especially for women, that can really throw everything off for you. So if you're going to do oil, do like grapeseed oil or black walnut oil. There's some really weird stuff out there, but is better on your system. So good point. Thank you. Question? Anything you guys need help with? All right. Well, you guys know I'm always here for you. Reach out anytime you want, and I can't wait to hear about your wins next week and your accountability promise. This is going to be a really difficult week for me. So stay tuned. We can do this. Together we're better. And you guys just have an awesome week.
Thank you.
You're
Bye.
welcome.
Have a
Bye.
good week, Cheryl and Melissa.
Thank you. Y'all too.
Yeah, bye.